Hello students, this is your English lesson. In this lesson, we are going to read a story, The Boy with an Answer, unit number 6 from Oxford Reading Circle 5. Let's get started. Wadim was a bright boy, but he was also very mischievous. He lived many years ago in a small village in a kingdom far, far away in a land of mountains and snow. Since he was an only child, his mother loved him very dearly. You could say that he was pampered too much. Pampered, spoiled, comfort, and became a spoiled child. But Vadim had quick wit, keen intelligence, and this helped him to make friends and get along in life. At that time, the ruler of this mountain kingdom was a mighty king called Valdemar. He was a fine and powerful ruler, and at his court there were many famous musicians, artists, and other wise and skillful people. Vadim lived in a small village called Yantoya. There was a school in the village, but Vadim's mother thought that the other boys at school would harm her dear little boy. So she did not send her son to school, and this suited him fine. He could wander about all day and be cheeky to whoever he liked. Of course, not being at school made Vadim quite lazy. One day, as Vadim was playing with some of his friends by the village pond, an old man passed that way. The boy ran along beside him. Any stranger in the village was a welcome sight to the boys. The old man stopped beside the pond to rest for a while, and as he sat there surrounded by the village boys, he noticed Vadim. "Come here, son," said the old man. Vadim went up to the old man and stood before him. He was fascinated by the old man's long hair and hat. The old man was fascinated by Vadim's smooth and handsome face and the bright sparkle in his eyes. "What is your name?" asked the old man. "If you really must know," replied Vadim, "my name is Vadim, but I don't know how this information will benefit you." "Ah," said the old man, "I see you are a boy with a quick wit. And as you seem to be so intelligent, why do you waste your time running about by this pond?" Vadim was going to say something in reply when he stopped to think more carefully about what the old man had said. "I can teach you something useful," said the old man. "Would you like to learn what I have to teach?" Vadim was very curious, eager to know something about what the old man might have to teach him. "Is it a magic trick?" he asked eagerly. "No, it is not," replied the old man. "It is something far greater than magic. Come close and listen." Vadim went closer to the old man and stood right next to him. "Listen carefully and remember this," whispered the old man. Then the old man recited a short poem, and Vadim listened carefully. When the old man had finished, he said, "This poem is far greater than any magic, my boy. When the time is right, go to that high mountain peak and recite this poem 1,000 times. You will be surprised at how your life will change." Then the old man stood up and walked off down the road. Vadim laughed and shouted. He and his friends ran behind the old man till he reached the outskirts of the village. The outer part of the town. The old man went on his way, and Vadim and his friends returned to play by the pond. That night, Vadim thought about what the old man had said. He repeated the words of the poem in his head. Then he tried to sleep, but for some reason he found this impossible. Vadim got out of bed and crept out of the house. He ran down the road and started climbing the mountain. It was dark and Vadim was a little scared, but he plucked up his courage and climbed to the top of the mountain. Vadim faced east, where the sun would soon rise, and began to recite the poem. He repeated the words over and over again. The sound of his own voice and the repetition of the lines began to make him feel sleepy. Vadim's heavy eyes were almost shut when suddenly a blinding flash of light lit up the entire mountain. Vadim was now wide awake. His sleepy eyes were like saucers, and he started stared into the grey dawn. Suddenly, the figure of an old woman appeared before him. Vadim had no idea who she was or where she had come from. Most young boys of his age would have run a mile if they had seen such a thing, but Vadim was not like other boys. Instead of running away or screaming with fear, Vadim began to laugh. The fearsome old lady took on an even darker look, and her eyes flashed with anger. Vadim noticed that his reaction had angered her, and he stopped laughing. I beg your pardon, mother, he said. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Then why did you laugh? Asked the old lady. Well, replied Vadim, staring at a big black mole on her nose. I was just wondering how you manage to blow your nose when you have a cold. Does your mole get in the way? The old lady's eyes flashed again with rage, violent, uncontrollable anger. Then a smile appeared on her face. In all my years, never have I been asked such a strange question by a child, said the old lady. But I think I like it. I am glad of that, said Vadim, sounding relieved. Since you repeated your poem so well, said the old lady, I have something to give you. The old lady stretched out her arms towards Vadim. In both her hands there was a bowl. Here is a bowl of curds and a bowl of milk, said the old lady. Take one, but choose carefully. The milk will give you some much wealth. The curds will bring you great wisdom. You may have either. Vadim did not reach out for the balls. He looked from one to the other. Then he asked, May I taste them first to see which I like, mother? Yes, you may, said the old lady. Vadim stepped forward and carefully took a ball in each hand. Then he jumped backwards and very swiftly. Instead of sipping the contents of the bowls, he gulped them down one after the other. The old lady took in a sharp breath of air. Her eyes flashed more brightly and she sprang forward to grab the balls, but they were quite empty. The old lady caught hold of Adam by his hair and lifted him clean off the ground. I told you to taste them, not consume the lot, she shouted. How dare you? Please, please, cried Adam. I have a good reason for doing what I did. Let me down and I shall tell you. The old lady let go of the squirming boy's hair. Squirming, twist the body from side to side, and he collapsed in a heap on the floor. Vadim stood up and brushed off the dust from his arms and knees. I am very sorry, mother, he said. I didn't mean to be rude, but you see, I had to have both the curds and the milk. One would be no use without the other. What do you mean, boy? Thundered the old lady. Well, she said that the milk would bring me wealth and the curd would make me wise. No one respects a man who has only wealth. On the other hand, a man with only wisdom cannot lead a comfortable life. I see, said the old lady. You really are a bright spark, aren't you? You seem to have an answer for everything and a mind of your own. Well, you may have both these gifts, wisdom and wealth. In time, you will become a poet and a wise one at that. You will use your sense of humor well, but at times this may upset people, and since poets generally do not make much money, I think you will have to work for someone who will provide you with what you need in life. All your wishes will be granted. And then the mountain was silent once again. Vadim stood there and stared into the grey morning a little while longer. The old lady had disappeared. Vadim looked at his hands. Where was the balls? He stepped forward and looked all around. The path was empty. Was this a dream? Thought Vadim to himself. Did the old lady really speak to me? Did she give me some milk and curds? Am I really going to be a famous person one day? With all these questions in his head, Vadim hurriedly returned to his house and his warm bed. Only time would tell if his dreams would ever come true. What do you think? Now come to the exercises. Questions. 1. Why did Vadim not go to school? Answer. Vadim was not sent to school because he was the only child and was pampered by his mother. 2. Why did the old man come to the village and sat by the pond? Answer. The old man passed by the village and sat to rest by the pond. 3. Why do you think the old man chose Vadim to teach a magic trick to? Answer. Because Vadim impressed him with his quick wit and intelligence. B. Reference to context. Read these lines from the story and then answer the questions. 1. Would you like to learn what I have to teach? A. Who says these words and to whom? Answer. The old man says these words to Vadim. B. Why is the offer to teach made? Answer. The old man, impressed by Vadim's wit and intelligence, makes the offer to teach him. C. What response does the speaker get? Answer. Vadim agrees readily, urged on by his curiosity. 2. I told you to taste them, not consume the lot. A. Who says these words and to whom? Answer. The old lady to Vadim. B. Why was this spoken? Answer. Because Vadim gulped both balls one after the other. C. What does the boy reply in defense? Answer. One would be no use without the other. C. Words and meanings. 1. Explain the following phrases. A. An only child. A child who has no brothers or sisters. B. A spoiled child. A child who is too pampered and indulged. C. A mighty king. A powerful great king. D. Repeated in his head to say something again and again in his mind. E. Plucked up his courage, took courage, made up his mind to fight. 2. Can you identify the words given below? They all contain IE or EI. Look in a dictionary if you are not sure. A. The most important person, chief. B. Someone who steals, thief. C. How high something is, height. D. The noise a horse makes, me. E. A release from tension, relief. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.